Greetings and welcome to Hexed Encountered. I'm Joe. It is time for part 2 of my playthrough of the game Berlin, Fall of the Reich 1945 from Revolution Games and Take Aim Designs, designed by Michael Rinella. So we are starting turn number 2 here. Just adjust this a little bit. All right, so picking up, we're starting turn 2, and I've already moved the marker. So our first step is to do the random event phase. Now, if this is your first look at this with me, I would recommend checking out part 1, where I went through the mechanics in more depth than I will for this playthrough as we continue. So I'm assuming basically that you've watched the first part. So we're just going to get things rolling here. We do have a random event chart that we will be checking against right here. We're going to roll 3 dice. Red for the Soviets, of course. And we get a 6, a 4, and a 3. That is a 13, and that is going to be Zhukov Pause 2. Units labeled with setup locations A and B may move but not attack this turn. If this event was in effect previous turn, treat as poor weather. Treat as no result on turns 1 and 9. Well, this is turn 2. That's actually what we got in turn 1 as well. So A and B are these two right here. So they can move but not attack. We do have some mandatory combat we're going to have to do, though, here and here. But these guys can move, but they cannot attack, which means I think that we cannot effectively move them into that into those spots. I think I will have to check on that. So we've done that. Now let's go to our supply phase, where we're going to roll all 4 dice. And we get 5 and 4 is 9, plus 2 is 11, plus 1 more is 12, which is what we got, again, last time. So we'll put this goes here, this goes there to mark 12. Each of these costs 2. Now we also have the added expense, perhaps, of pulling these guys out of action box. Now our cost for these, it's not cheap, basically. So a 5-4 infantry, for example, which is this guy right here, will cost us 2 supply points. The Guards Infantry Corps of 7-4, right there, that costs 5. The 8-6 Guards Armored Corps here and here both cost, actually, are these guards? That one is. This one also is. Okay, so yeah, they cost 4 each. The regular Armored Corps, 6-6. We do have one right there. That one is 3. Infantry Corps, as I mentioned, is 5-4. And the Armored Brigades or regiments that are 4-6, 3-6. I don't think we have any of those in there. We do not. So if I wanted to buy some out, now some of these are A and B, so I would say it's probably not worth it to buy those out right now. But we can maybe buy this guy, the 8-6. That would cost us 4. So let's do that. We're going to buy him out, and I'll put him. They get deployed. They would get deployed back to a box where their original unit is, which is all up here and here. I'm going to deploy them in here, which is actually where they started. They started in Zone M, and that is Zone M. There is combat there. So we'll take another crack at that. And so that cost me 4, leaving me with 8. And, oh, that's morale. What am I doing? 47 is what the Germans had. I'm on the wrong track here. That goes to 0. This goes to 8. That was a stupid mistake. Sorry about that. All right. Now, I'd like to buy some support. And I'm going to go with, artillery is really nice to have, because you have artillery and armor, and, artillery, infantry, and armor, you get the combined arms bonus, which is 2 for the infantry, for the artillery rather, plus a bonus 1 for the combined arms. So I'm going to buy 1 of those. That leaves me with 6. Actually, we'll buy 2 of these, leaving me with 4. I can buy 2 more. We'll go with 2 air support because the air support knocks out one of the German defender dies. So not a whole lot there, but we do have some available support now. So once that is done, we go into our combat phase. Now, our event for this turn, as I mentioned, and they give you a random event counter that you can put on here. And you don't need the other side. The other side is the setup information. So you can put that on there like that and know that that is the effect for this turn. I'm just going to stick it up top there so I can see it, and it won't interfere with where I have my other aid here, which shows the German defenders. You can do a phone call to Stalin. I'm not going to do that yet. And then you have this here, which is the morale chart, and this is where you can see the supply cost. I was looking at it in the rule book, but this is where you can see each of these. The supports cost 2 each, and it tells you what they do. And then these are the costs for the various units to buy, which I bought just 1, but it did cost 4 because I really need to get that D4 roll to be something better than 1s and 2s for half of them. Would be fantastic. So let's do our mandatory combat, which I believe is anything that's bloody streets is mandatory combat. So we're going to do this here. Now, this does not get a bonus this turn. If you're wondering what the bonus is, check back to part 1. Essentially, they get a +2 for a tiger and a +1 for a panther. And there is a panther up here. All right, so you have a lead unit, 7 + 1 and 1. The non-lead units each get 1 or apply 1 to the combat strength or attack value. 7, 8, 9. All right, they have a 7 + 2 is also 9. So that would be, and we can track this on here by putting the 2 counters on the 9 and the track down here. And I'm just going to roll with that. And we're going to go with 2 each. And I'm just going to roll all 4 dice. And they beat us. They got a 9 and we got a 5. So 9 for them would be 18 and 5 for us would be 14. So that is a repulse. And that means they all go back into this area because they have to retreat, and they are marked spent. And this goes away, and that guy stays there. And we lose 1 more point of Stalin approval. Now we'll try this one, and again, we're going to start with this lead unit, which typically I choose the most powerful unit. 6 + 1 + 1 is 8. They have a 9 + 2 is 11. So they're starting at 11, and I'm starting at 8. I will apply, well, see, I can't get the combined arms because there's no infantry here. So I'm going to apply air support. Okay, now that removes 1 of their die, so they only get to roll 1. So I'm going to roll now. They got a 4, we got an 8. So our 8 + 8 is 16. Their 4 + 11 is 15, so we win. So this goes away. They are eliminated. And these guys get flipped to spent as well. And we own Karlshorst now, which costs the Germans 1 morale because it's light urban, and forest. If you capture them, it knocks German morale down by 1. They are at 46 now. If we get them under 19, they'll be shaken, which weakens their defense. Okay, we have a couple more. We have 1 here, so we'll do this one next. This is 8 + 2 is 10. They have a 5. So I'm not going to apply anything here. We're just going to hope for the best. I'm going to roll dice. Germans got a 3. We got a 2. So the Germans go to 8 and we go to 12. Still a victory. Not enough for an overrun, which would not matter anyway because we are in a zone and not an area. We're not in the city yet, right? So these guys get flipped to spent, but we have cleared that zone. Now I'll do the last bloody streets up here. Again, we have an 8 + 2 is 10. They have a 4 + 1 is 5. Actually, I forgot to apply the +1 down here. Wouldn't have changed the result. So 8, we've got 10. They have 5. So Kind of same as what we just had, pretty much. We get a 7, they get a 5, so 7 plus 10 is 17. 5 plus 5 is 10. We won by 7. That is an overrun. But again, we're in a zone, so we don't get to use that. This guy gets taken out, and we flip these guys over. And that is the end of our mandatory Bloody Street combat. So now I'm still not sure about these as far as moving them, because we have units. I could move 1 into here, and I can't move anything up there because that's just a German unit. At least I think that's true. I'm going to actually check the rule book on this real quick. So I think we can move in here, we just won't be able to attack. So I'm going to move both of these in here, and I'm just going to mark them spent, because they have to stop and they can't attack. So I'm just going to mark them spent. Now I'm going to send this guy in here. Should I send in? Do I have an infantry? I do. So let's send this one of these 7-4s in here. Okay, into Karlshorst. There's 4 Soviet units, which is the stacking limit. Then we will send this one, then this one, and this one in here. Now note, I've got an infantry with both, which means I'll be able to get the combined arms bonus in turn 3 when I get to attack them. So that is that. Now we move, what else do I want to do here? So that takes care of the A and B zone, which is the first Belarusian front. They cannot attack because of the Zhukov pause. And we can move these guys up here. So what I will do, now you may notice we have burnout here, and you use the lines to determine where you're moving. We can't move, even though it's adjacent to this one, we can't move directly into Reinickendorf Westen here. We can move into Pankov, so that's what we'll do. We'll move all 4 of these units in here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now moving into a zone that has a Soviet unit in it. It's right here. Enter an area containing an unrevealed German unit is 4 movement points. So they all have enough to move in here. And then we would reveal this guy, and he's elite and an 8, which is rough. Okay. So elite and 8. And if we look here at our elite here, German side rolls 3d6 instead of 2d6 during combat resolution, dropping lowest die roll. If the area is a heavy urban or citadel, roll 4 instead of 2. Drop the 2 lowest. In addition, and ignore German shaken morale when calculating the German defense value. So that is bad news. So they have an 8 plus 2 is 10. We have 7 as our lead unit, plus 3 is also 10. But what we're going to do is we're going to apply air support, which will make them go back down to 2 dice, and they still have to drop the lowest value. And do I want to? I'm going to also go for artillery support. So this means they get to roll 2 dice instead of 1, and they have to drop the lowest. This means we get 2 additional points for the artillery support and another one because we have tanks and infantry. So our attack value goes from, well, theirs is a 10, as I mentioned, on the defense value. Our attack value is a 10 plus 2 plus another 1, so that is 13. And we both roll 2 dice. They only get to keep 1. And the lowest one is a 1. So they rolled a 2, and we have a 9. So since we have a 9, and that is actually greater than their value, that this is our first official overrun, because a 9 plus, what was it, 13 is 22, and they rolled a 2, so they only have a 12. So we had a 10 advantage. Their strength is an 8. So this guy is eliminated. And these 2 are now used, so they would go back up here. And these guys all remain available to attack again. Okay, I'm not going to do it right now because I want to see what else happens. Light urban, so the Germans lose another morale point. They're down to 45. This guy spent. We have this lone guy here. He can move in here, but that's dicey. All I have left is one artillery support. This is a forest area, which if I was able to take this, it would actually be another 1 point of morale dropped. But that's a 5. Moving in here, he's going to have 8 plus 2 is 10. And even if I gave him the artillery, that would only make it a 7. It would be 10-7, and I would need to outroll him by at least 4 to take it. So I'm not going to risk that, even though I want to. And we're going to move these 4 guys in here into the Tegeler Sea and flip this guy and see what we've got here. We've got a Volkssturm 5. Okay, so these are your kind of militia type units, not particularly strong. And you can see their effect. A Soviet success result during combat resolution becomes an overrun. So if we win, it's an automatic overrun. So we have a 6 plus 3 is 9. They've got 5 plus 2 is 7. I'm not going to use my artillery for this. Although that would probably guarantee a success if I did. Let's do it. Let's do it. All right. So now that 9 becomes an 11 plus 1 more becomes a 12. So we'll put our attack value on 12. Their defense value is 5 plus 2 is 7. We have a 5 advantage here, and hopefully that holds up. And we got a 7-3 result. So we got 3, which moves us to 15, and they got 7, which only moves them to 14. So we lucked out. So this goes back up here. This guy is eliminated, and these guys are still active because they got an overrun. They lost a forest spot, so morale goes down again. They're at 44 now. And let's move to the bottom. Okay, so we have some tanks down here, 6. To move into a vacant area adjacent to a German unit, which this would be, I'm going to move all 3, and that's going to leave them with 4. Right now, we're technically overstacked at the moment, but I'm going to fix that here. This guy and I think this guy were here already, so they'll just move up here into Zehlendorf. I'm going to send this 6 with them because this costs 3, and then moving into. No, I'm sorry, that costs 2. So these all have 4 now. This one will move up here. You only need 3 to move into an area with an unrevealed German unit, and these 2. And I hope this is the right call. We'll move up here. All right, so we're going to have 6-6 be our lead here, and we're going to flip this over. And that is Hitler Jugend, so the Hitler Youth with a 5. Their ability in defense is right here. Ignore German shaken morale when calculating. Otherwise, and they're not shaken yet, so we don't have that yet. So it's no effect. All right, so there are 5 plus 2 is a 7. We've got 6 plus 2 is 8. So it's 8-7. It's pretty close. And they got a 6 and we got a 5, so that is going to be a tie. Because we're both at 13. So we get a bloody streets here. These guys are done. And then down here, we end up, our 8 will be the lead, so we're going to have 9. They have 8 Panther. So they're going to have 8 plus 2 is 10 plus 1. The Panther provides an extra 1. That is 9. And that extra 1 is only on the first turn, that the first action phase that this unit gets attacked. So we have 9. They have 11. So they have 11, and we have 9. Not great, not great. We need a good roll here. This is chancy. Ugh. They rolled a 2, we rolled a 5. So nobody rolled well, but we go to 14 and they go to 13, which is enough for a victory. This guy's eliminated. We've taken another light urban spot. That leaves them with 43. And now we can figure out what we want to do up here. So as I mentioned, these guys aren't going anywhere. This one, well, we want to drive towards the center here. So I guess we should probably go here because that's light urban. And we can't get to Vetting. We can go to Prenzlauer Berg over here, but I think we'll go to Reinickendorf Osten here. So we'll move this. Again, we'll go with the 7 as our lead unit. Let's reveal it's a 4, and it is again Hitlerjugend, so we know that they don't have any impact here. 4 plus 2 is 6 for the Germans, and we have 7 plus 3 is 10. So it is a 10-6 at start. We roll. They got an 8. We got a 3. So 8 plus 6 is 14. 13. So that is a repulse. So they're going to get bounced back into Pankov. That stays, and we get a bloody, no, not a bloody streak. We lose another Stalin morale, or Stalin approval, rather. So now we have this over here in the Tegel Sea. We're going to send them down here. 6 will again be our lead unit. In Spandau, flip that over. It's a Panther 5. 5 plus 2 is 7, plus 1 is 8. 6 plus 3 is 9. So it's 9-8. And we roll again. And we get a 12, and they get a 4. So 9 plus 12 is 21. 4 plus 8 is 12. That is going to, again, be an overrun. So I don't think you're prevented from getting a second overrun, but maybe you are. Let me check. Okay, it doesn't say you can't. So now the question is, what do we want to do? Do we want to go here to the Falcon Sea, and then we can go down to Seeburg, which would allow us to come into the Grunewald, or what I think is the better move is to go here to the Reich Sportfeld, rather, because that puts us right on the edge here. Charlottenburg is here, and then you have the Reichstag right next to it. So I think that's the smarter move. So we're going to move everybody in here. Let's flip this guy and see what we get. Okay, we get Hitlerjugend 7. So again, the Hitlerjugend aren't a big challenge for us at the moment, but that 7 is no joke. 7 plus 2 is 9. We have 6 plus 2 plus 3 is also 9. So we're at 9 versus 9. So we do need a good roll here. And this is where that bad supply points, again, costs us because I was not able to buy any extra support here. And 5-2. So our 5 gives us 14. Their 2 gives them 11. We win. So these guys are gone. But it is not an overrun. So the lengthy breakthrough there is now over. But we did take another light urban, which drops their morale to 42. And so we've kind of carved a little bulge, I guess, here that puts us on the fringe of the inner city, Charlottenburg here. And of course, you have the Reichstag and the Chancellery, which are the 2 big prizes. Now you can see here on this Pentagon, we have a +3. We don't know what this is yet, but it's going to get a +3 defense from the terrain. So that's going to make that a little bit of a harder nut to crack. We do have infantry and armor, so that is good from that standpoint. Now, there is one other thing, one other available area that I have not used besides that one. And that's down here in Sperrenberg, Zone D. Next to it, we have Zone C, Halba, which does say Soviet units may not enter Zone C. That is because one of the optional rules is for the 9th German Army, these guys are right here, to go in here and then they can be activated. So they were put in this area historically and told to hold. So they didn't come into the city. Let me go through this optional rule here. So the German Ninth Army at the start of play, which I didn't do, but I'm doing it now, because it's not, well, you'll see why here in a moment. At the start of play, place the 3 German Ninth Army units into Zone C. Initially ordered by Hitler to hold their position, the army was given permission to advance west and link up with the 12th Army, then holding positions on the Elbe River. They were over here in Brandenburg area, but a little further west than that. Anyway, at the start of the end phase of turn 2, which is where we're about to be, player rolls 1d6 on a 5 or 6. The 9th Army units are activated. Otherwise, there's no result. If it did not occur on turn 2, player again rolls at the start of the end phase of turn 3 on a 3, 4, 5, or 6. The 9th Army units are activated. Otherwise, there's no result. And if you don't get them activated on 2 or 3, they become automatically activated on turn 4. When activated for the first time, each 9th Army unit may attempt to advance from Zone C to Zone D. If Zone D does not contain at least one Soviet unit, all 3 9th Army units may remain in Zone D. If Zone D contains at least one Soviet unit, each 9th Army unit must make a 1d6 roll to determine if they may contest the zone. If it's greater than the number of Soviet units, the 9th Army unit remains in Zone D. If it's equal to the number, they must retreat back to Zone C. If the die rolls less than the number, that 9th Army unit's eliminated. So I left 2 units in here specifically to hold this area against these guys. So they're going to come in, and I guess we technically don't even really need this because the Soviets can't attack that. So I'm just going to pull that one out. So what we're going to do is the turn's over. So we're going to start our end phase, and I'm going to roll the 1d6 here to see. It's a 2, so they're not activated. So we'll revisit this at the end of turn 3. Okay, so now I'm going to pause and flip everything over, and then we'll do turn 3, and then I'll probably wrap it up. But before I do that, we lose 1 morale on the German side and 1 Stalin approval on the Soviet side. So Stalin's approval is now 13. And now I will go through and flip all these guys over, and we'll start turn number 3. And we'll move this to turn 3, and we are ready to start our next turn. So we're going to roll for our random event. 3 dice. And that's a 1 plus 4 plus 2 is 7. That is up here. That is Zhukov Pause 1. So units labeled with setup locations L, M, and N. So these guys up here can't move this turn. Or can't attack this turn. Move, they can move but not attack. If this random event was in effect the previous turn, well, that one wasn't. So I'm going to assume that Zhukov Pause 2 and Zhukov Pause 1 are not considered the same thing. And we will not move, we will not attack with any of these guys. It will let me move these guys up in here so that they can help out with that lone unit there in Reinickendorf Westen. And we got another crappy supply roll. A 6 plus 4 is only 10. So 10. Not great. I mean, I want to buy some of these units out, but they're making it difficult on me. So I guess I'm not going to buy any units out of the out of action box. We're going to buy 2 air support for 4 and 3 artillery for the other 6, which leaves us with 0. And we will move on to our combat phase. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to move these guys in because they can. Then down here, we're not going to do anything with them, and we're not going to do anything with them. So those guys are all staying put for the moment. It slows down. I mean, these guys made great progress last turn, but now they're going to sit here for a whole day, maybe regathering their resources and so on before they push against Charlottenburg, which is the next target. These guys down here are Konev's troops, and the rest of Zhukov's army is over here. So we can still continue to go west and north, and we will do so. So let's resolve this bloody streets over here and see what happens. So again, we've got a 5 plus 2 is a 7. 6 plus 2 is 8. So 8 and 7. Roll 4 dice. Oh, I didn't roll. Oh, I did roll for supply. I almost lost my mind there. 7 versus 6, so we win. We got 15. They've got 13. So that is a win. Bloody Streets goes away. The Hitler Jugend are bounced. And we have captured Zehlendorf. And that gives them another supply loss, a morale loss, rather. Okay. Next. Well, let's see. What do we want to do next? I mean, I could try and move these guys up here. That's a little dicey. Let's do these. Let's do this one. This is a contested area, so we have to do an attack here. Oh, you know what? I just realized. Let me check something. So yes, I have been screwing up the bloody streets, and I just now realized it. And the first video is actually not live yet. Well, it is, but only for channel members. So I can't correct it because I also screwed it up in that video. This has happened to me before. I forget about the bloody streets effect. You roll a die that you had bloody streets in, and you would get if you roll a 1, the units get spent, and you lose 1 style and approval. If you roll a 2, you get a roll of you lose style and approval. A 3, you place a unit in the out of action box, and a 4 to 6 is no result. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to roll. And we get a 2, which is reduced style and approval by 1. So it goes down to 12. Okay. So that's all that was impacted there. Obviously, there was stuff in turn 2 and in turn 1. Actually, no, just in turn 2. So it was not a factor for the first video now that I think about it. But it is a factor now. Okay. So here, we don't have bloody streets technically, I think. Because these all moved in here from last turn. So they're a 7. So their value is a 7 out. We are 7, and 3 is 10. I am not going to use any of my stuff there. They got a 4, we got a 5. So that is again going to be a victory. We got 15, they had 11. So it's not an overrun. But we do take this, and that does reduce German morale by 1. The German morale is now going to be 39. Okay. Now this one here, we will move. Well, let's do this first. 7 plus 2 is 9, and they get a 6. Although I could, let's do this. Let's move this and this in here. And now attack it. So they get 9, and we've got 7, we got 10. So it's 10-9 to start, but I am going to give them an air support as well. So now the Germans only get to roll 1 die. And it's a 4 to 1. So the poor rolling continues in terms of numbers, but it's still a win, 14 to 10. So this guy is removed. We win this one. We did lose one of our air supports for the turn, but I'll take it. They lose another morale point down to 38. Now I will... What do we want to do here? I think we're going to move. It's all tanks. That's the problem. Let's move. We're going to move all 4 of these in here, I guess. I was thinking about attacking there too, but I'm not going to. These guys can move in here, but we'll wait to do that. So we're going to do our attack here first. 7 plus 3 is 10. Let's see what this one is. It is an anti-tank trench 8. This is one we've not seen yet. And the anti-tank trench is right here. The lead attacking unit may not be armor. If all of the attacking units are armor, they're not. And our lead attacking unit's not armor either. They must rip, flip, spent, and retreat. Okay, so our lead was actually is infantry, so we still get a 10, I'm pretty sure. They get 8 plus 2 is also 10. So that is 10, 10, and I'm going to give them air support as well. So that we can start to push in. Now we have blue lines here, which is a river crossing, and we'll talk about that eventually. We haven't crossed a river yet. So, but that is obviously part of the deal here. So with air support, again, the Germans will only get to roll 1 die. They get a 3, we get a 10. So we have a 20 and they have a 13. That is a difference of 7, not enough for an overrun because their defender is an 8, but it's still a win, and that is also another morale point down the drain for the Germans. Down to 37. And these guys, as I said, can't do anything. We've done 1 over here. I'm not entirely sure what I want to do with this one. They can go here. They can also go here. In theory, because they're both armor, they could go here and then here. But let's move them in here into Krummelanka. And let's see. Obviously, the 8 would be the lead unit. They get, Elite 9. This is rough. Okay, Elite 9. So this is not going to be a good attack. And I'm going to dump some artillery on them as well. So we're going to have a 9. They have 11. Plus Elite gets to roll 3d6. So that's going to be challenging, to say the least. But I am going to put 2 artillery in here with them. Yeah, I'm going to give them 2 artillery for a total of 4. They don't have infantry, so they don't get the combined arms. So 8 plus 1 is 9, plus 4 is 13. They are at 11, but they get an extra die. So they get 3 dice, and I get only 2. Need big rolls here for the Russians. 5 and 4 is 9. Pretty good, because they got a 7. But you drop 1, so they actually only got a 6. So 9 to 6 is a victory. It is not enough to overrun, but these 2 go away, back to the used box. These get flipped to spent. And Forest, I believe, also costs the Germans a morale point. Yes, Forest and Light Urban is 1. If 3 or more areas become Soviet controlled in a single turn, I think they did, right? This one, this one, this one, this one, and that one. So yeah, so I'm gonna reduce them by 2 to 35. Okay, and we've got 1 more left, or 2 more left. I can't attack this one with these guys. So I am going to, however, I think, well, let's see. I do have an artillery left. So let's send, well, I can't really do, can they move zone to zone? What's the movement cost zone to zone? I think zone to zone movement is all of your movement. So maybe I won't do that. I was thinking about moving one of these units over here and then pushing 4 units in here and giving them artillery. But instead, I'm going to move these 2 in here first. And again, the 7-4 will be our lead. And they, oh my God, kill zone 10. So this is probably going to result in an L. All right, kill zone. Soviet player must either place 1 attacking unit in the out of action box prior to resolution, or flip all attacking units to spent and retreat. So guess what I'm doing? They're spent and they're getting out of there. All right. These guys now will go up in here. So they're going to have 10 and anti-tank trench. So that is going to be an issue. So just to reiterate, the lead attacking unit may not be armor. If all units are armor, the units must flip, spent, and retreat. So that is what's going to happen because they are all armor. All right, I need to put an infantry in there, and I do have one. Okay, so that ends the turn. Now, the first thing we have to do is roll our 1 die to see if the 9th Army becomes activated. It's a 6, which I believe is no result. Oh no, a 6 is an activation. They're activated. Okay, so now that they're activated, they may attempt to advance from C to D, so from here to here. If Zone D does not contain, okay, it does. If Zone D contains at least 1 Soviet unit, each 9th Army unit must make a 1d6 roll. Okay, so let's roll. For the first unit, it's a 6, so we'll say the 8 is the first unit. It's the most powerful, right? Okay, if the die roll is greater, so it does go into Zone D. Now we roll for the next one. It's a 1, and a 1 means they don't, I believe. There are 2 there. If the die roll number is less than the number of Soviet units, that 9th Army unit is eliminated. So this guy gets eliminated. Now we've got one more. It's a 2, and it's the same. So if it's the same, they may, let's see. If the die result is the same, equal to the number of Soviet units, the 9th Army unit must retreat back to Zone C. Okay, so they are here now. C, they stay in C, and the other one is eliminated. And German 9th Army units still in play, activate at the start of each end phase for the rest of the game until they reach the safety of Zone G. They may activate whether or not they're in the same zone. Attempts to move always proceed directly west from Zone C to D, Zone D to E, E to F, and F to G. If a Soviet unit or units is present in the zone, a movement die roll is always made. Okay, so they contest the zone. I think that means we have to fight it now. Next turn, I think. We can try to knock them out. And we have our strength is going to be 7 plus 1 is 8. So it's going to be an 8-8 fight. I don't think that helps them in this instance because they're attacking. So, all right. Now we're going to move to, we'd be moving to turn 4, but I'm going to stop here. Actually, we did 2 and 3. So we'll be moving to turn 4. Now, as I mentioned in the previous video, if you want this to continue, comment, like, share, all that stuff. If I see enough interest and likes and so on here, I will do another video. If not, then I probably won't, although I am going to play. And if I play, then I might as well do a video if there's interest. So if you are interested, make sure you like, comment. Like and commenting would be the 2 best ways. If you do comment, throw a like on there too, please. It makes it easier for me to count. And it actually helps promote the video as well. So we're done. And thank you for watching. Like I said, please consider liking, sharing, hyping, and or subscribing. All of those things are great and much appreciated by me. Any comments, put them in the comment section, including whether or not you want this to continue. Otherwise, hopefully you'll come back and see something else down the road. To all my channel members, thank you for your support. It is greatly appreciated. And thank you as well to the subscribers. I appreciate that as well. But we are done for now. Until next time, I am Joe. This is the Hexed and Countered channel. And until next time, as always, happy gaming.